And normally what happens is that YouTube syncs up with the program called OBS. So as soon as as soon as YouTube kicks into the time, OBS is supposed to start. So for some reason, it didn't do that tonight. So hey, look, I'll take user error on my part. But man, I just killed it. You missed, how long have I been doing this? Shit, I've been on for almost an hour. And it was good stuff. I don't know if I can recreate it. Do you know how that works? I guess I could have just gone with human error. Look, so let's get back to the start here. And I'm not going to go for another hour, but let's just try to rewind. Welcome to the live stream, delayed as it were. I apologize. So still working out the technical kinks with OBS. I just thought that by having YouTube on, it would just work. Lesson learned. Welcome. I started to talk about Pisces on tonight's show, and had to do with my son, and had to do with baseball and the influence of Pisces. You're going to miss that story now. Unfortunately, it was very heartwarming. But you're going to miss that story. We're going to just get right to the sauce, right? We're just going to get right to the secret sauce of what's going on here. And what's going on is that all these planets have been moving through Hillary Clinton's 12th house in Scorpio. And for all of you listening at home and playing at home, the chart that you want to punch up for the Hillary chart is Chicago, Illinois, October 26th, 1947, 8:02 a.m. This is a double D rating by Lois Roden. It's not great, but again, I've used this chart on numerous occasions, and it works. What can I say? It works. So I'm not going to redo the show. I'm going to do something different because I can't do that. Let's just talk about her 12th house and what's happening with her 12th house. And remember, she's got a superstellium, Sun, Chiron, Venus, Mercury, and then we have the ascendant also in Scorpio. So we have all those planets in Scorpio, all the 12th house, all hidden, all occulted from our attention. And we have currently the Sun and Mercury going through our 12th house. We got another little aspect here, which is Black Moon Lilith, which I'm going to put in here as part of, you know what, I'm going to put in Hillary's vertex too. I want to see what her vertex is. All right, so I'm going back to the chart, going back to the transits. Hold on a second. This is vertex in Cancer. So we have this. Vertex, Lilith, and we're going to put in the natal chart transits. And let's bang this because this is an important aspect here. Get into it. Black Moon Lilith, transiting Black Moon Lilith, is at 16. Is it 16 degrees Scorpio. 16 degrees Scorpio. And that is in the 12th house for Hillary, which means that her Black Moon Lilith is conjunct Venus in Scorpio in her 12th house. So what are we talking about here? It's not just about Hillary Clinton. It's not just about who she's involved with in John Podesta, Marina Abramovich, and the whole cast of Satanists that are suddenly emerging into our consciousness. That's really kind of what this is about. I mean, we are being given an exculpation of her 12th house, an excavation of her 12th house. It is coming to light. And it's not just her 12th house. It's not just the shady dealings that are going on behind the scenes. You know, the power brokers, the relationship between ISIS and the relationship between the Clinton Foundation. It's more than that. It is more than that. It is a dark revelation that is coming out of that 12th house that is all things occult. Through Scorpio, this is what we're seeing. This is what we're seeing. And where's it coming out to? I mean, technically speaking, it would be her 6th house, right? Which is the opposite house. And that is the house of Taurus. So we're talking food, right? The body. 6th house, service, health. But Taurus is about, you know, what we eat. Spirit cooking. Spirit cooking. Have you seen some of the images? They're mind-blowing, these images. But really what they are is these people, they're Thelemites. They're Thelemites. They're into eating semen, bodily fluids, fecal matter, body parts. You know, this is kind of upscale Manhattan highbrow performance art cannibalism with a bit of Crowley-esque Thelemite magic thrown in for good measure. This is what John Podesta he's got to be a full-on OTO guy. He's got to be full-on OTO. You know, he's a Capricorn Podesta. And he's born January 8th or 7th. So this is what we're getting a dose of. And it is out there. I mean, how many people watch InfoWars and Alex Jones? You know, how many people are picking this stuff up from other places like, you know, 4chan or Anonymous or WikiLeaks or my website or any other? I mean, it's out there. This is, we're starting to see now what's behind the curtain, and it's all coming out of Hillary's 12th house. Now, is she going to be indicted? It doesn't look that way. Looks like Comey has been co-opted again. Looks like, you know, we've been taken down another primrose path one more time. I don't think the NYPD is going to step in either. I don't believe so. And the reason why is because, and they have all these photos, they have all these goodies, and they've known about it for a while, and they know about it all. I mean, come on. They all know about Sandusky. They all know about Second Mile. They know about all this shit. And why haven't they done anything about it? Because so many of them are compromised, so many of them are bought, and some of them are terrified of their lives. I mean, this is the dark spiritual livelihood of these people, and you take that away, or you expose them, it's like you're shining, you know, a 50,000 candlelight beam directly from the sun into a crypt of vampires. They're not going to like it. But what's happening now is it's being revealed to us. And it's a very, in a lot of ways, very disempowering kind of perspective. What do we have here? Listening to George Strait. How come you're not listening to me? Anyway, this is what's happening. It's called the revelation of the method. It's being revealed to us. If you missed it, which you did because I was talking without the stream being on, I talked about the externalization of the hierarchy and the revelation of the method, which are two very similar things. The externalization of the hierarchy has been taking place at a rapid pace since 2009 when Pluto went into Capricorn, which is the age of Baphomet. And once that happened, all the overt, occult, and illuminated symbolism started to come at us. Bang, bang, bang. Eye of Set, Eye of Horus, the third eye, the all-seeing eye, you name it, it just started coming at us. Prior to that, it was still there, but not with the same degree of intensity. And what's happened is that the externalization of the hierarchy is externalization of occult and esoteric practice and form, so it is given to the masses. That's what the externalization of the hierarchy is. It does have to do with the externalization of these superhuman beings, Maitreya, El Morya, Saint Germain, Kuthumi, Kuan Yin, whoever those ascended beings are. The externalization of the hierarchy is also about, theoretically, the emergence of their presence in our lives as deific beings, theoretically. But the externalization of the hierarchy is also more than that. It has to do with spiritual technologies that are Luciferic and, to a large extent, New Age, brought forward in every single walk and area of our life, and becoming ensconced in it, immersed in it, and drenched in it, which is what we've been doing since 2009. Now, the revelation of the method is something a bit different. And the revelation of the method is when a magician reveals the trick. But in revealing the trick, he believes, or the person who's seen the revelation of the trick, believes that they are getting the truth. But in actuality, the magician is only displaying a partial truth. So the revelation of the method is saying, here you go, look at this is what's happening, and therefore, oh yeah, I know how that works now. Meanwhile, that's not really how it completely works. But at the same time, there's also a commission by consent that takes place. And I'll give you an example. This is what I talked about at the beginning of the show. In 2008, a lot of the imagery, or prior to 2008, I'd say prior to 2000 and what, from around 1998 to right around 2003, what did we have? We had a ton of collaboration between the Bush administration and the evangelical community. That was Pluto and Sagittarius, right? And there was also the rise of Christians and the Muslims, which was the reanimation of the Crusades, which is kind of where we've been since then. So what took place, a key event was Abu Ghraib. Now, Abu Ghraib is a key event for a number of reasons. Number one, it shows and displays some really very dark techniques in terms of interrogation and torture and humiliation. Now, those were done for a reason, because what they were trying to do is they were trying to create what's called a caliphate. And by showing all this crap that we were doing to quote-unquote Muslims, they were trying to get the Muslims to rise against the West. That was part of it. That was part of it. But it was also this very dark kind of expose and reveal of what was taking place, and none of us could do anything about it, right? You could write our congressman, you can do this, you can do that, but, Lindy England or whoever she was, and these people were supposed to be taking, part in this ritual, and really was a ritual, there was nothing we could do about it. So the revelation of the method was this very, very dark kind of secret that was revealed to us, but at the same time, there's virtually no course of action. And yet, there is a level of consent. Okay, fast forward, here we go. We're in this time right now with all this stuff coming to the surface, right? I mean, if you're following what's happening, they've got all these little menu items: cheese, pizza, hot dog, hamburger, nuts. Those are all descriptions of certain things that they're being passed back and forth between one another in these email chains. Cheese pizza stands for child porn. Okay, so when you have hot dogs, that's the male version. Hamburgers, the female version. Nuts represents African Americans, blacks. I mean, this crazy shit. This is crazy shit. It's all rising to the surface. It's all rising to the surface. Alex Jones is crying, and he's like invoking Jesus over on InfoWars. And he's like become like this born again preacher over on InfoWars. This is the energy that we're being initiated into, and it is really dark. It's really, really dark. And this is the power behind the thrones. They're giving us a glimpse, and we've known this for a long time. You know, we've talked about it. I've talked about it. You know, this is dark stuff. And they're giving us a glimpse into the darkness. This is the revelation of the method. This might be the entire operation that's going on here. How about that? And then we have an election, which is a ritual. And you're going to have people all dressed in red, a ritual color. There's a Facebook page where there's going to be these women dressed in red pantsuits voting for Hillary. You know, November 8th is going to be National Pantsuit Day. And then you have all the conservatives, they're going to be wearing red. So what we have is these people are going to be dressed in ritual garb, going behind the curtain, you know, and punching in likely a rigged vote. I mean, let's be clear about that. I mean, this is ritual theater. This is ritual theater for the elite, and it is a ritual to Saturn. That's what an election is. Election. It is a ritual to Saturn. Because out of it, we bring forth an individual who becomes a representation of Saturn, the 10th house, government, Capricorn. Am I right? Can I get an amen? So this is what's happening, and it's going to happen on 8/11. That's right. We've got the Aquarian moon coming up. What's there now? It's at 7 degrees. And it is, by the time election night rolls around, it's going to be in sextile with Venus. Everybody is trying to find their relationship to the truth. Venus and Sagittarius, something bigger than themselves. Aquarius is in the Aquarian moon is the radical emotional expression as it relates to that relationship to the truth that we are seeking. That's happening on election night. And everybody will be convinced of their individual truth, that their candidate or the person that they're voting for is the one that is going to lead us into the next epoch of American civilization and culture. I think we might have some real problems on election night. We've got Mars in Capricorn, and it is at the anaretic degree, the 29th degree. On 11/9, it goes into Aquarius. This is radical energy. Radical energy. And to a large extent, I would say, it depends on how we look at this, right? Because we're going from a shift. We're going from Mars Capricorn to Mars Aquarius. Mars Capricorn, even though Capricorn is looking to the future, right? Mars Capricorn is the old guard. It's the old guard. Mars Aquarius is new. It's radical. Now we have to define to ourselves what is new and what is radical. Is Hillary Clinton new and radical? You know, is it the standard operating procedure? You know? Is it the rainbow unicorn warriors? The rainbow warriors riding unicorns into our lives? Right? Transgendered rainbow warriors riding unicorns, hitting us with lightning bolts of, I don't know, Schadenfreude? Is that what Mars in Aquarius is? Or is Mars in Aquarius something different? Is the alt-right or the new right the new radical expression of Aquarius? I think it is, but it depends upon kind of which version of Aquarius we're going to be dealing with. Because clearly the old version of Aquarius, which is revolutionary radical, which was Bill Ayers, which is the 1960s, that's the freaking establishment now. How radical is that? They have become the establishment. They won. They won the culture war. Now it just depends upon how long they're going to continue to stay on top of the game and drive home their victory. These people, they do not want to give up their station. The Bill Ayers of the world, the Barack Obamas of the world, these people, they've worked too hard to get to this point. Way too hard. Do you think they're going to just go, that was really great. Boy, we had a good run, didn't we? Boy, we really fucked those guys up for a while. All right, let's go back to some community organizing. Let's go out there, rally the masses once again. You think they're going to do that? No. It's not what that, no. They're here to continue to drive it home. That's what they're here to do. And Hillary Clinton offers them the best opportunity. And if she doesn't stick around, then Tim Kaine certainly will do whatever he's asked for. I mean, the guy has no spine. He has no spine at all. He is absolutely. But if he loses, I'm telling you right now, if they lose, I swear to God, if there's a theatrical presentation of The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, Tim Kaine should try out for the Grinch. With those eyebrows, he's a natural. So, where's Mars and Aquarius going to chime in on? Is it the old version of Aquarius? The old lefties, the radicals, who are the establishment, or is it something new? This is a fascinating time. I'm telling you. Absolutely fascinating. I was over on Henry Mackow's site, and he's got this guy that chimes in, Aloysius P. Fosdyke. He's a Satanist. And he's kind of interesting on some level. Satanists are interesting. I mean, a lot of them are really bright people. I'm not advocating Satanism, but they're interesting people. I read Marilyn Manson's autobiography. That guy's smart. And he's interesting. I mean, these are people that are not, they're not into being messed with. Expression of will, freedom, all these things which are very American in a lot of ways, right? But they take it a few steps further. Anyway, even Fosdyke doesn't know how this is going to go. And this is a guy that's supposed to be dialed in, right, to the current. To the current of the underworld. And he's not even sure. Now, he believes that Hillary Clinton is their savior. And she is the usher of the age of desecration. And clearly, with everybody dressing up in red pantsuits, it's like it's a ritual. And even on the right, wearing red, this is the color of blood, right? It's a color of ritual, red ritual. 11/8. Even Fosdyke doesn't know. One of the things I talked about on Friday was the opposition of transiting Saturn to the 9/11 Saturn, which is Saturn in Gemini, which is at 14 degrees. Saturn is today at 15 degrees. And as a result of that, still in opposition. Now, on Friday's show, I talked about the possibility of a false flag. And I talked about it in passing. It wasn't like I was making a big theatrical statement about it, but it popped into my head. So look at this. This could be another manifestation of a false flag. Well, about 3 hours after the show, they were talking about how there could be a false flag in Texas. The Al-Qaeda was coming to Texas. Al-Qaeda, we're waiting for it here in Texas. Come on, Al-Qaeda. We got some guns. We ain't afraid of no Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda, Al Capone, Alcyone. Bring it on. My son was at a baseball tournament today. It was so Texas. Oh my God. In it's in a place called Georgetown. It's north of Austin. Once you get past like Round Rock and Cedar Park, man, you're in a different part of Texas. You're really in Texas. Austin's not really Texas. Up there is Texas, and there's like hills and trees and all kinds of stuff. It's out there, and so my son was playing baseball, and just had that Texas vibe. You just knew you were there. It's fascinating. And my son, the Pisces, I talked about this at the beginning of the show, which people did not see, which is too bad, man, because that was really a pretty good rep. It's not a new baseball team, positive baseball team. You see, if you're a Pisces, or you know a Pisces, or you hang out with a Pisces, make sure they get positive affirmation. Have them around people, or be around people that are good for them. Life as a Pisces is hard enough, let alone having to work through negative influences. That's all I'm going to say. It's the toughest sign in the zodiac. All 12 signs bleeding into one. Challenging. Give them positive affirmations. So we're in a really fascinating time. Got a supermoon coming up. How about that? 14th of November, supermoon in Taurus, closest the moon has ever been to the Earth since January 28th, 1948. Now the evangelicals have taken note, as they always do with the moon and these lunar occurrences, like the blood moons, in which John Hagee sold a lot of books to conservative Christians and Zionist Christians about the importance of the blood moons and the prophecies of Israel and Revelation. And while there were some bloody events that happened around these blood moons, at the end of the day, we're here. The world did not end. Perhaps it ended on some other timeline somewhere else, but here it is still existing, unfortunately, to the degree that it's been existing, but it's still existing. Now, what might have happened behind the scenes of those blood moons? Maybe we should ask John Podesta and his wife and the people that they hang out with. You know what's really fascinating? The more that I think about this movie, The Devil's Advocate, the more that I think it's completely about Bill Clinton. So if you haven't seen The Devil's Advocate, I recommend it. It's with Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino. And Keanu Reeves plays Al Pacino's son, and Al Pacino is the devil inside this movie. It's pretty well written. And Taylor Hackford is the, if I'm not mistaken, the director. And Keanu Reeves' character is a cipher. And what I mean by cipher is it's a combination of two characters put together. And I believe he's a cipher of Bill and Hillary Clinton. And the reason I say this is because in the movie, his character, his name is Kevin, does not know his father, right? Knows his mother, raised in the South. In this case, it is not Arkansas, but it is Florida, raised in the South. Does not know his father, so he's a bastard, just like Bill Clinton is. Bill Clinton is a bastard. And as a young, aspiring lawyer, he winds up getting a rapist of a teenage girl off the hook. See, this is where the cipher element comes into play. It's where the cipher element comes into play. And, of course, it's not Bill Clinton that gets the guy off the hook, but it's Hillary, right? So Kevin becomes this cipher character. And then there's a scene where, and I was thinking about this today. I was absolutely thinking about this today. And life is weird. He's got to go, meaning Keanu Reeves' character, Kevin, has got to go talk to this guy named Moyes. And Moyes is a Haitian, and he is being hassled by his landlord because he is growing chickens in New York City. Well, it's more than just chickens. Moyes is a voodoo priestess played by Delroy Lindo. And he goes there and he has this experience with Delroy Lindo. He's got a cow's tongue and he starts banging these nails into the cow's tongue. So when Kevin goes to defend him in court, Keanu Reeves, the prosecuting attorney can't talk. It's like he has nails in his tongue. So what's interesting about this, and I was thinking about this today as I was in the supermarket, and then I came home and I was like flipping around the internet, and Alex Jones was getting into passages from Bill Clinton's book. Bill Clinton talks about his relationship with voodoo and how when he was a young man living in New Orleans, he experienced it, and of course, their time in Haiti. So here we go. Here's this connection to voodoo. Again, Keanu Reeves inside The Devil's Advocate. So it's just an aside. If you've ever seen The Devil's Advocate, that character is Bill Clinton, Cypher, Hillary Clinton. But here we are. This is the time. This is when it's all coming out. You know, it's all coming out. It's all out there coming through Hillary's 12th house. And the 12th house is a collective house. It's not just her house. You know, it is the house of collective energies. Dark, dark, dark collective energies. Black Moon Lilith is over there, as I mentioned earlier, cruising through her 12th house. So we are getting this light shown upon what's going on behind the scenes. But I'm not sure anything's going to come of it. I don't think the NYPD is going to rush to judgment here and bust out the photos. I don't think it's going to happen. Certainly the FBI has done their about face, thanks to the Department of Justice and all these other very, very powerful forces that are mediating reality right now. But we are in a time, this is a very powerful time. It's extremely powerful. This election is not like any other election we've ever seen. It's just we're in uncharted territory here, and you know, every time I think I'm getting close to the truth on this thing, it feels different. Like about a week ago, man, it's just like, yeah, when Trump wins, it was just coming right off of my tongue. I wasn't have to think about it, and then now I'm thinking, oh my God, well here we go, we're being set up again. You know, and Hillary's going to win, and it's going to be a major crash. And there's going to be a lot of really pissed off people. And we're going to have a country that's super divided. We're going to have a country that's divided anyway. I mean, that's the bottom line. And we might not even have an election, in which case the country will be even more divided. This is amazing stuff. And, you know, you're going to be participating in it. And you're going to be watching it. What I would try to do, this is just me, is I would try to be a little bit detached. The moon's going to be in Aquarius. That's good energy to sit back and watch it all happen. Am I right? I think so. Now, all this energy is going to be in Hillary Clinton's 12th house. You know, the sun is not emerging onto her ascendant. It's not happening. You know, so it's all behind the scenes. Is this the energy that is best suited for being elected, or will it represent what goes on behind the scenes in order to elect her? Voter fraud, manipulation? Well, we're going to find out one way or another in a few short days. Now, like I said, we're going to have that supermoon, which is going to be on the 14th, and that will be in opposition to the sun, which will at that time be right on her ascendant, because we have the sun at, where are we? We have the sun at 15 degrees. So let's see, today is we may as well just call it the 7th. The 7th, so it's in 7 days, so it's going to be 22 degrees. So at that point in time, the sun will be on Hillary's ascendant, right on her south node. And then the moon, this super moon, is going to be on her true node. Wow, how about that? How about that? I'm going to have to take a deeper look at that. It's going to be very interesting. Interesting stuff. The next supermoon, which will be in the sign of Gemini, will be on Donald Trump's sun. It will be in opposition to his moon in the sign of Sagittarius. So right now, currently, Venus is on Donald Trump's moon, and that should actually be quite good for him, as it helps him theoretically get across his emotional message about the truth, quote unquote, of America. Now, if Trump is elected, it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out once we get past this revolutionary time with Mars in Aquarius, and to see if Trump actually even makes it to be sworn in on office. Which, by the way, if it does happen, he will be 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days old on the day that he is inaugurated as president. Did you know that? A lot of you are real smart. But think about that. 777. Not quite 666. 777. Fairly prophetic. A lot of people are coming out for Trump. It's kind of mind-blowing, Chris Matthews basically saying he's not going to vote for Hillary. How about that? Once you see somebody move into the annals of power, they're not just going to change overnight. That the corruption, that the wanton use and abuse of power, that's not going to go away. And that's going to be under somebody who's president. Think about that for a moment in time. Trump's got his warts, and they're big. Trump is a huge surveillance person. I mean, we could be really living with Big Brother in a big way with Trump. But look at the track record between the two. Richard Nixon basically said, hey, look, I know this is wrong, but when I'm president, it makes it okay. So with Nixon, we have the kind of first real look at tyrannical power in a lot of ways. And I don't think there's been much deviation from that. I think Nixon kind of set the template, although Jimmy Carter tried to do it in a bit of a different way. But think about Hillary Clinton with that maxim. This is what we're going to. But if Trump is elected, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Now, I've heard all the stories that they've all got their bug out places in Qatar and Bahrain and Abu Dhabi, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's fascinating times. Absolutely fascinating times. We will still be a house divided, no matter what happens on 11/9, which is the day after. We will still be a house divided, and divided in a way that we might even be able to comprehend at this point. Now, I'm going to probably cut tonight's show short a little bit because I've been up doing this since 10:15, so I'm an hour and a half in, even though really I'm not an hour and a half in. But I'll be back tomorrow, and I'm going to be doing some longer shows, and on Tuesday nights, I'll be using the live stream to go live on Tuesday night. So we'll have the election in the background, and we'll be doing the live stream. It'll be a different environment. It'll be light. You'll be able to see me. It won't be completely astrological. It'll be also, news-based and topical. And then on tomorrow and also Tuesday, it'll be sort of, wall-to-wall as much as I can, coverage and or commentary. So, hey, it's what I do. To the best of my ability, these are the tools at my disposal. And I think probably what we'll do on Tuesday for the 15 minutes of flame, we'll go 2 hours, and we'll do call-in. we'll just do all call-in on Tuesday, and we'll be taking the pulse of America on Election Day. It's going to be very interesting. History in the making. No matter what happens, your children's children are going to be talking about this time. All right. So apologize for the late start. Apologize for the technical snafu, if it indeed was on me. And of course, I'm willing to own it. Right? That's what we're here. I'm a Virgo. I'm learning all this stuff. So, use your head to discern what's real. Your heart to say what's possible. Thank you for hanging in and listening. If you've been a part of this, let me just go into the chat room real fast here, see how people are. It just popped up pretty quickly. What do we got here? Okay, here now can hang for about 20. Then got to go, yeah, we're indeed, it's coming out after all. Way beyond all black and white, Stepford Wise movie. Overnight, poo, very disempowering. What do we do? The process is all about the collective consciousness, becoming aware, not just those of us that have been talking. Yeah, I agree with that. Hillary represents the old guard. Okay, she's what needs to die away. I just got here. I want to let you know I am liking these YouTube live shows. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, so longing for the last of the lose-lose situations. Peace out, y'all. Hey, brothers and sisters, stay strong. Stay in your hearts. You know what's right. You know what's right. You know what's sacred. You know what's holy. You know what's divine. Everything else is just fiction. Everything else is just a twisted tale. And if you've been down the rabbit hole and come out the other side, you're wiser for it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for joining me and hanging out with the late night version of the live stream. It's been great having you. Take care.